Coming up, Judge Alicia Chacon has died at the age of 87. We go over her achievements, especially her work here in the Borderland, and how some local leaders are reacting to the news of her passing. Then the White House is getting in the holiday spirit. President Trump carrying on a Thanksgiving tradition with a pardon for 2 turkeys, Gobble and Waddle. We have those details, and we're expecting a slightly warmer than usual Thanksgiving here in the Borderland. Tirza?
That's right, a warm Thanksgiving afternoon, but the morning will still be cool, so you'll want to layer up for the Symbol Parade. Now, after the holiday, the region can expect to see cooler temperatures as we head into December. I have a breakdown on what you can expect. Your KTSM 9 Plus starts right now.
You're watching KTSM 9 News First at 4. Starts right now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to KTSM 9 Plus, your digital newscast. I'm Cristina Rodda, in for Monica Cortez today. First at 4, a longtime public servant who opened the doors for Mexican-American women in local politics, Alicia Chacon, has died at the age of 87. Chacon was born in 1938 and graduated from Isleta High School in 1957. In 1970, she became the first Mexican-American elected to the Isleta ISD board before becoming the first woman elected as El Paso County Clerk, the first Mexican-American woman on the El Paso City Council, and the first woman elected El Paso County Judge. Well, local leaders reacting to the news of Chacon's passing, Commissioner Ileana Holguin thanking Chacon for her work throughout the years.
So I don't think that it can be emphasized enough just how much she influenced our local El Paso community, and how she not only opened doors but really broke through so many doors forcefully in order to make sure that everyone had a place.
Senator Cesar Blanco also releasing a statement on Chacon's passing, writing in part, quote, "I am deeply saddened by the passing of Alicia R. Chacon. Her tireless work and trailblazing spirit changed El Paso for the better," end quote. Now we go to a developing story. A 23-year-old man arrested. This after officers respond to a rollover crash in Horizon, leading to a warrant check. This here is 23-year-old Jesus Adrian Marmolejo. According to the Horizon City Police Department, he was arrested on Wednesday morning after a crash at the intersection of Horizon Boulevard and Gretna Avenue. Now, during the investigation, officers learned that Marmolejo had assaulted the driver of another vehicle. The victim, however, declined to press charges. A routine warrant check was conducted on Marmolejo, which revealed an outstanding warrant for assault causing bodily injury, family violence, as well as a probation violation warrant. Marmolejo was booked into the El Paso County Detention Facility. An El Paso man was sentenced in federal court to 4 years in prison for kidnapping his ex-girlfriend. According to U.S. Attorney's Office with the Western District of Texas, back in January, 20-year-old Leland Alexander Drumheller sent a text message to his ex-girlfriend asking her to meet with him. Now, the two met inside his vehicle in front of her apartment. During that interaction, Drumheller became angry and drove away with the woman, not allowing her to get out of the car. Drumheller drove the victim to a desert area where he threatened her before driving off and abandoning her. Drumheller was charged with 1 count of kidnapping and was arrested in February. He pleaded guilty in September. We'll take a quick break from our top stories to enjoy a moment of zen as we look outside through our tower cam. Let's go straight to forecaster Tirza Ortiz, who joins us now. Now, Tirza, it was a cool morning, but the sun is shining this afternoon. Well, we see some warmer days this fall.
Well, Christina, it looks like we will. We'll even have a warmer Thanksgiving, above average, but it won't last for long. We do have a storm system moving into our area, and with that, we'll be looking at cooler temperatures along with the chance for precipitation, which is always needed because we have been quite dry. Right now, though, out the door, we are looking at temperatures around 66 degrees, 64 over in Juarez, over in Las Cruces, those low 60s with Deming in the mid 60s. And checking out our temperature trend, we do have a little gradual warm up happening for Thanksgiving. We will hit a high around 68 degrees and then we warm up to those 70s, but we won't be there for long. We are looking at our weather pattern beginning to change. We will drop back down to those mid 60s before we hit our low 60s with the cooler temperatures and of course that storm system that will be moving through our region just in time for December, so we can finally start to feel some winter-like conditions. But looking at our car wash forecast, we do have the green light for our Wednesday, Thursday, and our Friday. I'll bring more details, though, about that storm system and what we can expect in a little bit. But for now, Christina, back to you.
Tirza, thank you so very much. Well, the time is 4:05 as many of you prepare to head home after a day of work. Let's check out the roads on the text.cams. We're looking at Constitution here, where you can see traffic in both directions moving fairly quickly, but nothing to worry about as far as any problems on the road in that area. We are looking here at Wrestler going south on Paisano and also on Sunland Park. Not much to worry about. This is the west side of town. Both east and west going a little quickly, but just fine. The El Paso County Sheriff's Office will begin increasing patrols across the county starting tomorrow ahead of Thanksgiving celebrations. Sheriff Ugarte says his office starts seeing celebrations ramping up as of Wednesday, the night before Thanksgiving, infamously called Blackout Wednesday by younger people, is one of the heaviest drinking days of the year. Sheriff Ugarte adds the sheriff's office will also be putting an emphasis on patrolling Red Sands and the desert area stretching to Horizon, where El Pasoans gather the Friday after Thanksgiving in what is commonly referred to as the Turkey Trail Run. KTSM 9 News reporter Diana Castillo speaks with a local activist group about the risks of drunk driving. She will have more coming up at 4:30. Now to national news. The holiday season is officially underway at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. In today's Political Minute, News Nation's Blake Berman has more on some of the traditions celebrated at the White House this week.
The White House kicks off the holiday season. I'm Blake Berman, host of The Hill on News Nation. President Trump carrying on a Thanksgiving tradition with a pardon for two turkeys, Gobble and Waddle, who traveled from North Carolina and stayed overnight in Washington in one of the most historic hotels to take part in this year's festivities. The presidential turkey pardon is a tradition dating back decades, but it was President George H.W. Bush who formally started the custom back in 1989. The lighthearted event has typically marked the start, at least in Washington, of the holiday season. The First Lady Melania Trump also welcoming the official White House Christmas tree this week. This year's tree is from a farm in Michigan. It was delivered by two Clydesdales. Since 1966, the winner of the National Christmas Tree Association's nationwide competition has provided the official White House Christmas tree. I'm Blake Berman, and this is the News Nation Political Minute.
Very good. Now a man is charged with animal cruelty after a video went viral allegedly showing him punching a dog. Coming up, we go over your thoughts in today's In the Comments segment. Thank you for watching KTSM 9+, always putting local first.
Scan to download KTSM.
Visit Bravo Cadillac in El Paso or Las Cruces.
Welcome back. In today's In the Comments segment, we first told you yesterday, a 36-year-old man was arrested and charged with cruelty to animals after a social media post allegedly showing him punching and throwing a dog to the ground went viral. This is Gilberto Santos. El Paso police arrested and booked him into the El Paso County Detention Facility on a $10,000 bond. Police said that they launched their investigation after seeing the social media post. Santos was identified through an anonymous tip. Well, we shared this story to our social media pages, and a lot of you had some thoughts you wanted to share with us. Many of you were very angry. We begin with Mary Lou Aguirre, who shared, "There's a special place in hell for these people." Meanwhile, Dorothy Sanchez writes, "He should get the same treatment," and much more. And Elizabeth Valencia shares the same sentiment, writing, "He needs to be in the cell next to the homeboys. Let's see if he punches them like the dog." Now, here at KTSM, we value your opinion and we want to hear more from you, but just a reminder that we do not condone any sort of violence. And with that being said, make sure you are following us on our social media platforms to keep in touch with us through the comments. A warning for parents buying Christmas gifts for their kids. Why experts are saying buying an AI toy may not be the best idea for your little one. Up next, we explain why. Stay with KTSM 9+.
Assistance and more. Stop by 1490 Lee Trevino or visit elpasohonda.com for more details.
Welcome back. A couple of brothers here in Texas are $9 million richer after selling a Superman comic book. Now, they found this first Superman issue while cleaning out their late mother's attic. Now, before her passing, she did tell her children she had a valuable collection of comic books, but they had never seen it. The Superman #1 comic was released back in 1939. The comic book sold for $9.12 million. Now, the Heritage Auction House says it is the most expensive comic ever sold. And forecaster Tirza joins us now. Tirza, I wanted to talk about the weather, but forget that.
Yeah.
I used to work at a comic book store many years ago, yes, and sold many of them, but $9 million.
I was gonna be like, for 9 million, potentially.
Wow.
I can't think of very many things I would pay $9 million for. And I mean, I have to say, I don't know if a comic book would be up there, but
Maybe because it's the very first one. Imagine the commission on that.
oh, I would like to not even think about it. Wow, that is very crazy, but you never know what you have. I think it's kind of good to like look through some things that maybe your family had before and things that are still in really good mint condition before you toss it out.
Good point.
You never know. Well, you know what? Congrats to them. That is very cool. Taking a look at our weather, though, we are looking at temperatures beginning to cool down. Currently, we are at 66 degrees, very calm, and light winds moving through our region. Over in Las Cruces, 61, 7-mile-per-hour winds coming from the northeast. Overall, looking good. Humidity around 22%. As for those wind gusts, they're also on the lighter end, definitely calmer than what we had yesterday. Over in Ruidoso, we're looking at 16-mile-per-hour wind gusts, 13 over in Cloudcroft, 18 over in Alamogordo, over closer to home, 11 in Las Cruces, 6 over in El Paso, and 8 over in Juarez. Taking a look at tonight, though, we will be on the cooler end. 40 is that forecasted low. Here in El Paso, mostly clear skies. We're looking at very light winds. Overall, just a cool night and a cool morning when you're preparing to get ready for your Wednesday. Those winds coming from the north, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Over in Las Cruces, even colder. We're hitting freezing conditions, 32 degrees, along with some clear skies. The wind will be pretty light, but remember, we are looking to protect our pets, our people, our plants, and our pipes. So just keep that in mind before you go to bed for tonight. Now across the rest of the region, 24 over in Ruidoso, 29 degrees over in Cloudcroft, 33 over in Alamogordo. Really across the region, everyone is really getting close to that freezing temperature, if not going pretty below it. Now for tomorrow, we are going to warm up, still in the similar range. We will be in those mid 60s. We're looking at mostly clear skies, so overall a very nice day, very mild. Those calm winds will still be blowing through our area. Over in Las Cruces, 64 degrees will be that high. A very sunny day, a very warm day, very similar to what we've been having. But we do have a shift coming over, and it'll hit in the second portion of our weekend. Now for the rest of the region, 54 over in Ruidoso, 49 in Cloudcroft, coming down to Guadalupe Pass, 56 degrees, and 62 degrees over in Van Horn. Still looking pretty above average for the region in terms of highs, with our lows getting pretty cool, which is really where we should be for this time of year. Now 6 is that allergen for our Wednesday and 5 for Thursday and Friday. Checking out the rest of your 9 hours and how to plan out the rest of your evening. We will be 57 degrees by 8 p.m. We drop down to those low 40s by 10 p.m. and we'll continue to drop down in temperatures, hitting 47 degrees for your 2 a.m. hour. Taking a look at our 7-day forecast, we do have Thanksgiving on the board, of course. So for Wednesday, we're looking at very light winds, 65 degrees. We will drop down to those low 40s, upper 30s just in time for Thanksgiving morning, which means, yes, our Thanksgiving Day parade and our turkey trot is going to be pretty cool, so make sure you are layering up. We'll warm up, though, to 68 degrees. We're looking at partly cloudy skies, and then we'll hit 70s for the weekend, but I will bring you your full 9-day forecast in just a little bit. We have more news coming up. You're watching KTSM 9+.
Robert, sponsored by Truly Nolan Pest Control. This week's question comes from...
Hi Robert, my name is Jessica and I want to know how rainbows are formed.
Wow, I love that question. How do rainbows form, and who doesn't love beautiful rainbows? Well, in order to see a rainbow, you need a few things to happen. Number one, you need rain to fall in front of you. You need sunlight coming in behind you. When the sunlight enters a liquid raindrop, it slows down and it breaks the light waves up into all the different frequencies. So your eye sees red and green and purple and yellow and blue. Here's another secret about rainbows. Rainbows are actually perfect spheres. So why do you only see half a rainbow? Because the ground cuts it off. Thanks for your question. Now that's science made simple.
This
Thanks for watching KTSM 9 News Weekdays.
Welcome back. In your consumer alert with Black Friday and Cyber Monday only days away, experts are warning parents about the potential dangers of some toys as they begin their holiday shopping. Now, this includes AI toys. Winnie Dorch, a reporter with our Next Star sister station over in Chicago, has the details.
Good afternoon. Well, it might be best to leave artificial intelligence up to the adults this holiday season. Experts point to teddy bears embedded with chat box, and sometimes those conversations are explicit, not kid-friendly.
We successfully tested 3 different AI toys to see how they work and if they have obvious problems. We found they do. They may share inappropriate content with kids or use new tactics to keep kids playing with the toy for longer.
The Illinois-based U.S. Public Interest Research Group released the Trouble in Toyland 40th Annual Report. The report identifies potential hazards in children's toys. New this year, the focus is an AI teddy bear and robots, specifically the Kuma bear, which explains to children how to engage in sexual activity.
It can be a fascinating topic.
The company Folo Toy banned the Kuma bear along with the rest of their AI toys. This decision was made following the Trouble in Toyland report. Other potential dangers are button batteries, recalled, and counterfeit toys. If the toy does not list where it comes from, this means it's counterfeit. During a press conference at Lurie Children's Hospital this morning, a local mom explained how she lost her baby after ingesting a water bead.
Our sweet Esther Joe is gone, all because of a toy. We had purchased water beads for her older siblings, which were only ever used under adult supervision. Esther was a baby. She never once played with them. So when I learned that a water bead is what caused her death, I was shocked.
And parents, it's important to read reviews, buy from reputable stores, and check all labels. Also, pay attention to choking hazards with every purchase you make.
Very good information there. Well, back here at home, Buy El Paso is kicking off the holiday season with 2 promotions designed to reward shoppers and spotlight local businesses. Now, those events are Buy El Paso Day and 12 Days of Buy El Paso. According to the city of El Paso, Buy El Paso is a community-driven initiative that encourages residents to shop, dine, and spend locally, helping keep revenue right here in El Paso neighborhoods, supporting jobs and strengthening the regional economy. Now, the city says the initiative has already generated El Paso $2 million. To learn more about the promotions that are coming, just simply visit KTSM.com. Well, don't go anywhere. We have another half hour of news and weather coming up after the break. You're watching
with $269 a month for 39 months. Take a test drive at 6330 Montana today.
Welcome back to KTSM 9 News First at 4. With Thanksgiving just 2 days away, law enforcement and anti-DWI advocates are teaming up to make the holiday a safe one. Now, this is ahead of the expected uptick in DWI cases around the holiday week. Our KTSM 9 News reporter Diana Castillo spoke with advocates about the impact these crashes can have on families. Hello, Diana.
Hi, Cristina. Well, law enforcement officials say the problems usually start the day before Thanksgiving, which is tomorrow. Now, many call that day Blackout Wednesday. That's usually when the celebrations kick off, and some even end up getting behind the wheel after drinking. Now, according to Texas for Safe and Drug-Free Youth, Blackout Wednesday has become one of the deadliest nights of the year for impaired driving in Texas. Now, the group says 62% of Blackout Wednesday crashes since 2020 have involved alcohol. And over the past 5 years, more than 700 Texans have been involved in Blackout Wednesday crashes, with nearly half resulting in death or serious injury. Now, locally, advocates say those numbers are more than just statistics. They are families living with the aftermath.
For the families that have been impacted, who lost someone tragically like I have, the holidays it's very overwhelming. It's a reminder of who's missing in that empty seat at that table, the silence, the memories, the pain that never goes away. These tragedies are preventable. A celebration should never turn into another family's worst nightmare.
Now, just last week, El Paso District Attorney James Montoya told KTSM that DWI is a problem statewide. And here in the Borderland, it's not limited to the holidays. Now, he says his office charges more than 2,000 DWI cases annually, with up to 300 of those involving repeat offenders. Now, you can expect to see more law enforcement on the roads. Sheriff Oscar Ugarte says that they will be increasing patrols along with other agencies starting on Wednesday. Cristina?
Diana, thank you for that live report. El Paso County Judge Alicia R. Chacon, who opened doors for Mexican-American women in local politics, has died. El Paso County Commissioner Iliana Holguin announced Chacon's passing on social media. Chacon graduated from Isleta High School in 1957. In 1970, she became the first Mexican-American elected to the YISD District Board before becoming the first woman elected as El Paso County Clerk. She was the first Mexican-American woman on the El Paso City Council and the very first woman elected as El Paso County Judge. Chacon was 87 years old. Well, Black Friday is just around the corner, with companies offering some of their best sales of the year. We have Black Friday all the way through Cyber Monday. A group of left-wing organizations, though, are asking people to boycott 3 companies: Target, Home Depot, and Amazon, for their perceived ties to the Trump administration. State Capitol reporter Adam Schwager reports on if these boycotts actually work.
From Black Friday to Cyber Monday, the groups behind this year's No Kings protests are asking their supporters to stay away from certain companies.
We can just use our spending power in a way to where we say that we don't approve of these actions.
They're boycotting Target, saying they've rolled back their DEI policies and removed LGBTQ products from their stores. Amazon, saying CEO Jeff Bezos has donated over $1 million to the Trump administration, and Home Depot, saying they're allowing ICE to detain laborers from their stores. In response, Home Depot said it isn't notified of ICE activities and operations, and it is required to follow all federal and local regulations. Target said in part it, quote, works every day to unlock potential by creating lasting impact by empowering entrepreneurs, supporting small businesses, uplifting our team members, and strengthening the 2,000-plus communities we operate in. Amazon has not yet returned our request for comment.
In order to boycott here, you have to ask people to either shop somewhere else or not shop at all. It's a part of the reason an expert says these short-term boycotts aren't typically effective.
If you want to portray the company in an unfavorable light, you can campaign and do that. But to diminish their income, it takes a long time to get that done.
Professor Paul Koku cited Rosa Parks and the Montgomery, Alabama bus boycotts, which lasted for over a year. On the contrary, We Ain't Buying It is scheduled to last for 4 days.
If I were to hazard, I would say that it's not going to be successful.
Organizers say they're concerned about losing the significance of the message if they call for a longer boycott, but point to their recent boycott of Disney after Jimmy Kimmel's suspension as proof their actions can work.
We can use our spending power to force these companies to retract some of these actions that we don't seem as allowable.
In Austin, I'm Adam Schwager.
All right, well, don't let the sunny skies fool you. It was pretty chilly early this morning. Here's a live look from our tower cam. And our forecaster, Tirza Ortiz, joins us today. Tirza, is it me or are we kind of like all over the map when it comes to temperatures?
We are all over the map, Cristina. You are 100% correct. We have cold mornings and we warm up to above average temperatures by the afternoon. And this trend is going to last as we continue to move through the rest of our holiday week. We are doing a gradual warming up trend all the way leading to the weekend. We'll be well above average, even hitting 70 for our Saturday. But then we begin to drop back down in temperatures because we do have a storm system on the way. But we did have a little bit of a warmer day for today. Currently, we are still at 66 degrees in El Paso, 64 over in Juarez, 61 in Las Cruces, with the rest of the region either in those mid-60s or the lower 60s even here in Rio Doce. So we have 50 degrees and 46 over in Cloudcroft. But we are beginning to cool down as we continue to move into our overnight hours. We do actually have quite a chilly overnight to expect and very early morning for Wednesday. But taking a look at the rest of our car wash forecast, we have the green light really just across the board because we're looking at very mild conditions, very calm conditions. But again, these are just the beautiful temperatures we'll be having. Number one for Thanksgiving and leading to the weekend right before we have that storm system come in and really shift up our weather conditions. But I will have more details on that in just a little bit. I'll send it back over to you, Cristina.
Very good. Thank you, Tirza. Well, continuing a Thanksgiving tradition, President Trump has spared 2 turkeys from Thanksgiving dinner. Washington correspondent Kristen Eskow introduces us to the president's newest pardons.
In a few moments, I will grant a full, absolute, and unconditional presidential pardon.
President Trump announced his latest pardons, 2 North Carolina natives who haven't been charged with any crimes. Gobble and Waddle, 2 4-month-old turkeys fresh off a luxurious hotel stay near the White House.
You are hereby unconditionally pardoned.
After an online poll, Gobble was selected to participate in the annual White House ceremony. Waddle was still spared too and made a short appearance in the White House briefing room, where he declined to answer questions.
Waddle, why are you getting a pardon? What did you do wrong?
And like most pardons, Gobble and Waddle have been through a lengthy application process.
They have been acclimated to people, to big lights and sounds and music.
Leslie Oden runs the National Turkey Federation. She says despite the challenges the industry has faced due to bird flu, turkey prices have dropped this year.
With some of the latest data that we've seen, turkey is down 16% from a price standpoint.
But these 2 won't be available at the grocery store.
I'm going to have a turkey, but it's not going to be that one.
In an unusual move for turkeys, both Gobble and Waddle will soon be joining a wolf pack. They're headed to North Carolina State University, where they'll live the rest of their lives on a poultry science research farm. At the White House, I'm Kristen Eskow.
Well, we have to say congratulations to Waddle and Gobble. An AI company is looking to make shopping this holiday season just a little easier. Artificial intelligence company OpenAI says it's adding a new feature called shopping research to its AI chatbot, ChatGPT. Now, users can narrow down the specific items that they're shopping for by answering more questions about preferences like price, intended use, and desired features. The products can be bought on the retailer's website, but OpenAI says it plans to add an instant checkout feature where users can buy the product inside ChatGPT. And if you're trying to get rid of holiday decor, recycling experts say that while it's easy to toss those old items into the garbage, many holiday materials, especially those string lights, cannot go in curbside recycling. Officials say they need to be taken to an approved drop-off site like Home Depot. Recycling unapproved items can be dangerous, and proper drop-off is the only way to ensure that holiday materials are handled safely.
String lights, things like that, that people think are recyclable, and they are not in a curbside bin. They can be taken to drop-off places, Home Depot, our facility here, other places that do those kinds of collections, and then they will get properly recycled, but they can't go into your curbside bin.
Well, when it comes to many Christmas items, they must be dropped off for correct sorting. And coming up, Chihuahua farmers protest proposed water law at one of the international bridges. We go to our social media pages and share what some of you had to say in the comments segment. Thank you so much for watching KTSM 9 News First at 4, putting local first.
Scan to download KT.
Segment sponsored by your local Nissan dealers.
Well, if you're already thinking ahead of burning all the Thanksgiving calories, that you can skip the stores and enjoy Mother Nature instead. This Friday, the Franklin Mountain State Park is offering 2 different hikes this week. You can join a 2-mile hike to the Aztec Caves or a 4-mile hike to Mundy's Gap. They both start at 9 a.m. and make sure to sign up by calling the number on your screen. Tirza, I went on a hike one time. It went so badly because I chose the wrong trail. I chose the hardest one, and this was my first time hiking. So
you know what?
I turned back.
Beginner's mistake happens to all of us. I too have picked the wrong trail, so maybe it is better to go with a group who would actually know where to go. But you know, Christina, you have Friday to go out and rectify that mistake and try again.
I agree.
Well, maybe people will join you, our viewers potentially getting out there, but I love that idea. Yeah. And you know, it is going to be beautiful weather for our Friday. Pretty cloudy. We will have some overcast skies really in the afternoon, a little bit on the warmer end, but for the morning should be pretty perfect to get out there and really enjoy the post-Thanksgiving meal that hopefully everyone is going to be enjoying. Right now out the door in El Paso, we're looking to be around 66 degrees. Very light winds are moving. We're checking out those wind gusts earlier, and they're holding in the mild range and nothing too major. Over in Las Cruces, 60 degrees currently, and light winds moving from the northwest at 9 miles per hour. That humidity currently at 25%. Now for tonight, we are going to get pretty cool, so just prepare for that. 40 degrees in El Paso, mostly clear skies though, and again, those light winds from the north, they are going to be tracking 5 to 10 miles per hour. Over in Las Cruces, we are already hitting those freezing temperatures. 32 degrees is that forecasted low. So make sure you are preparing, bring those pets in, take care of your plants, check on the people that you care about, and overall just prepare for those cooler temperatures because we are inching closer to winter and we should be feeling the very cold temperatures very soon. Now for the rest of our region for tonight, we do have some places even going well below freezing. 29 degrees over in Cloudcroft, 24 over in Ruidoso. For some of us, we are going to be barely above freezing at 33 degrees, 34 over in Deming. Over in Guadalupe Paso, Match El Paso at 40 and 35 degrees over in Van Horn. It is going to be quite a chilly night over across the region. For tomorrow, we are warming up to those mid-60s. We're looking at mostly sunny skies. Overall, just mild conditions. And again, those calm winds that we have been noticing. Over in Las Cruces, 64 degrees, sunny skies. Overall, a warm day, nothing too bad. And we'll continue to look at this trend as we go throughout the rest of our week until we get to middle of our weekend. For tomorrow, across the rest of the region, 64 degrees over in Las Cruces, 63 over in TRC. Deming will match that number with Silver City in the upper 50s, potentially even lower 60s. Allergens are tracking on the low end as well. We're looking at a 6 for our Wednesday, and then we'll drop down to 5 for our Thursday and our Friday. So not too bad in the allergen department. Looking at the rest of our 9 hours, we will be in those low 60s come 7 p.m. And then with the sun going down, it really does get pretty cold pretty quickly. 54 degrees by 10 p.m. Once we get to midnight, we're looking to be around 49, and then we'll drop down to 47 for your 2 a.m. hour. Let's go ahead and look at the rest of our days though and what we have in store. Now for Wednesday, 65 degrees, some light winds. And of course, for your Thursday, our Thanksgiving Day, 68 degrees is our forecasted high. But taking a look before that, for the morning, it looks like we'll be around 40 degrees. So when you're heading out the door, make sure you grab a jacket because it really will be quite cool. We hit 70 for our Friday and our Saturday, and then cue a storm system that's going to come in. It'll drop us down to those upper 60s, mid 60s before you hit the low 60s going into next week. And finally, for the start of December, which a lot of the meteorology community considers to be the beginning of winter, we will already start to get closer to those temperatures where we should be for this time of year. Looks like we could potentially even see some shower chances as we get closer to that, but we will go ahead and continue to monitor those conditions. I'll go ahead and send it back to you, Christina.
All right, Tirza, thanks so much. Many of us are just a few minutes away from calling it a work day. Let's get a snapshot from our roadways at TxDOT traffic cams. This is a lot of vehicles at I-10 and McRae going east and west. You can see it is pretty much bumper to bumper in those areas. If you are heading out from work, this is what you're gonna have to deal with. A lot of people definitely probably left early to see this kind of traffic at this hour, which is 4:49. Well, Chihuahua farmers joined in a blockade protest across Mexico on Monday, bringing traffic to a stop at the Zaragoza International Bridge. The traffic was halted from the maquila industry, according to our crews in Juarez. The group protested a proposed federal water law that would give the Mexican government control over all wells currently used for agriculture and livestock. Protesters say the measure would create a state monopoly on water and drive thousands of small producers into bankruptcy. Well, we shared this story to our social media accounts, and many of you had some thoughts that you wanted to share. Nona Tiamat says, "Up with the farm workers, our support is with you." And Gus Gerardo writes, "They want to install groundwater wells illegally." Finally, Angel Villagran says, in part, the government is not paying them the percentage necessary to turn a profit. Without them, people starve. Well, the protest is again a proposed federal water law that would give the Mexican government control over all wells currently used for agriculture and livestock, potentially driving out thousands of small producers into bankruptcy. Here at KTSM, we value your opinion and we want to hear more from you. So make sure you are following us on our social media platforms to keep in touch with us through the comments. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this break. This is KTSM 9 News, first at 4.
Ask Robert, sponsored by Truly Nolan Pest Control. This week's question comes from...
Hi Robert, my name is Danica and I want to know how rainbows are formed.
Wow, I love that question. How do rainbows form? And who doesn't love beautiful rainbows? Well, in order to see a rainbow, you need a few things to happen. Number one, you need rain to fall in front of you. You need sunlight coming in behind you. When the sunlight enters a liquid raindrop, it slows down and it breaks the light waves up into all the different frequencies. So your eye sees red and green and purple and yellow and blue. Here's another secret about rainbows. Rainbows are actually perfect spheres. So why do you only see half a rainbow? Because the ground cuts it off. Thanks for your question. Now that's science made simple.
TV personalities in the city.
All right, welcome back. We are getting a final look at your exclusive 9-day forecast and taking a look in particular at our actual Thanksgiving. We are going to hit a high around 68 degrees, but for that morning, 40 degrees is that overnight low. So make sure you are layering up for the turkey trot or even the parade, because it will be pretty cool, pretty chilly, overcast skies for a good portion of the day. And then we warm up to those 70s for Friday and Saturday. And then we do have a cold front that will go ahead and enter our region come Saturday night going into Sunday. It will drop our temperatures down and we'll go ahead and hit those low 60s for next work week, where it looks like we will go ahead and start to remain as we enter December. Christina?
All right, Tirza, sounds good. We have one last story before we go. Holidays at the ice rink. They're returning to the home of the Rhinos, the El Paso County Event Center. Now, ice skating will be available to El Pasoans from noon until 3 p.m. until Sunday, November 30th. Now, there are also various days and hours for the month of December. So admission is $18 for 3 hours, and on Sundays, admission is $20 for 2 people, and skates are included with the fee. Well, that's it for us. Thank you for joining us. Estela Casas is next at 5:30.